February 8th, 2023, 11 o'clock at night. Where were you when you heard the news that Kevin Durant is officially being traded to the Phoenix Suns? It's been a hell of a day for the Phoenix Suns organization as they have welcomed new owner Matt Ishbia to the organization. Had a stellar press conference today. And Matthew, I don't know about you, but when I first heard that press conference from Matt Ishbia, I was excited. I wanted to run through a wall for the guy, but I didn't know if I expected certain things to happen as Matthew's like pulling out his retainer.
My retainers in. Go ahead.
And within the first 24 hours of ownership, we get the Woj bomb at 11 o'clock at night. Yeah. I get a notification on my phone, and I instantaneously get a phone call from my buddy Matthew.
Yes.
He says 3 words. We going live? We're live, Jamsters. Kevin Durant is headed to the Phoenix Suns, Matthew. God, Kevin Durant is headed to the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and I will miss Mikal and Cam, but I'm like shaking.
I am too.
I'm like shaking like someone like came back to life all of a sudden. Like I just feel very strange. Like I'm in a different dimension right now. I am very excited about what is happening. I don't know. I feel like my voice is gonna shake this whole time because I can't stop. And I'm gonna miss Cam and I'm gonna miss Mikal, but that doesn't matter if you want to win a championship. But I'm just super excited.
Bingo. We'll talk about the details of the trade momentarily. We'll throw some invites out there to some of our fellow podcasting partners if they happen to be up and if they want to join us. I want to get their point of view on this. But it's a banner day in Phoenix Suns history. The last time that they traded for somebody of this caliber, you'd have to say Chris Paul, right? But this is
Charles Barkley, right?
Yeah, Charles Barkley was a free agent though. Steve Nash.
I wasn't alive. Steve Nash.
Kevin Durant is
Nash was not Steve Nash, so.
But Kevin Durant's higher than all these guys. Now, granted, he's injured right now.
Yeah,
and we'll get him. But just again, I'll ask you this, Matthew, before we do the drops of all the fun stuff. How you feeling?
Oh, dude, I'm 100% happy. 100% happy. No regrets. I don't give a fuck, man. The press conference today was awesome. I did not expect this. As soon as the Pirtle thing dropped, dude, I was like, something's going on. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Probably doesn't actually. But I was like, something else is building up, but it has nothing to do with it. But I'm excited. I'm just pumped. I don't know what else to say, dude.
Pumped. It's a good way to put it. It's
pumped.
My initial reaction was exactly what I put on Twitter. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. Now, granted, this is an all-in move for the Phoenix Suns, and we'll get into all that. I got thoughts, I got ideas, I got feelings.
A lot of stuff.
I literally just made a great new Mikal Bridges drop that I absolutely love, so we'll play that. But again, if you happen to be watching along live, hit that thumbs up button. If you're listening to this podcast tomorrow because you went to sleep too early tonight, you missed the fireworks. It's happening for everybody who said James Jones doesn't do anything. Guess what? James Jones did something. So pop him if you got him, Suns fan. I got a Coors Light. I was already had a couple earlier. I was watching that. Nate Bargatze? What's his last name? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I have no idea.
It's on Amazon. He's like he's a really funny comedian. He's got new specials. So I was watching that tonight with the missus, and then I was just like, you know what? I'll have a couple beers and enjoy that.
It was close, man.
No,
I caught you.
No, well, I just laid down to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's like my 11 to 11:30 routine where I'm just like scrolling Twitter, and also it's like,
yeah.
Boom! So crack him if you got him, my friends. Let's talk about Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns. Is coming to the Phoenix Suns. Our crack staff even got a
Oh yeah, dude.
graphic up there for those of you who are
Crack 'em.
watching along live. But the tweet initially came in about 16 minutes ago, I think. Now let's see who
Yeah.
reported it first. According to my mentions, 23 minutes ago, the Spurs traded for Jakob Poeltl, and then 18 minutes ago at 11:05 Arizona time, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out, breaking: the Phoenix Suns are nearing a blockbuster trade to acquire Brooklyn Nets star Kevin Durant, sources tell ESPN. Durant wanted to move to the Suns. New owner Matt Ishbia pushing to get the deal done tonight. Momentarily after that, you have Shams Charania starts trying to play catch up a little bit. And normally Shams kind of beats him to the punch. But he said that they're trading him for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, 4 first-round picks, and additional draft compensation. You go a little bit further on that. Adrian Wojnarowski said the Suns are sending Bridges, Cam, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, a 2028 pick swap for Durant, and TJ Warren, Matthew.
We got him back. We were just talking about him last game and how much I missed that son of a bitch. mini KD and KD.
We got KD, we got TJ Warren, and we got Flex from Jersey hanging out with us.
Man.
What's up? Hey. What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm distracted right now.
We all are distracted right now. So if you got,
give me 2. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No. Go ahead. You get. Keep punching away there.
I'm good. I was talking to one of my contacts, man. Can you hear me good?
Yes. Yeah. You're fantastic. Yeah. I'm continuing and kind of talking about the all of the details of the trade. Essentially, the Suns are giving up unprotected picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029. And I think a 2028 pick swap for Durant and TJ Warren. And we give up Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. Can I just start by saying this? The prophecy has come true, Flex. You've been calling it since last year. Should we give you some flowers? Should we give you a chance of redemption? Can everybody just leave you the fuck alone finally?
You know what, guys? I'm not that type of dude, man. Like, I'm keeping it real. I report what I heard. I stuck with it. And it finally came to fruition. But I'm just glad it's over, man. I haven't slept in days. I've been hearing rumblings about this throughout the day. If you don't believe me, call Dan Duarte right now. We haven't spoke, but he texted me like 3 hours ago, and he can show you my text. He can actually save the text and show it to you on screen. About 3 hours ago, I said, I think we're getting Kevin, man. Everybody I spoke to today, it was leading in that direction, and it started to trickle in last night. Kevin didn't go to the game last night. He wasn't in the arena. I started to hear behind the scenes that there were some deep conversations about this trade happening last night. And so today was more about crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and just staying patient and not letting all this stuff, the Laker deals and all the other stuff get in the way of what was going on. And quite frankly, man, it's hard to be quiet and stuff like this, man. It's hard to sit down behind the scenes and hear some of these things, but ultimately know that you got to protect your sources, and you can't try to be a superhero. So follow the rules, and we got the guy we've been trying to get since May of last year, when I tweeted it last year, May 15th, that this is where he wanted to be, and they got it done, man. So I'm thrilled, brother, but I'm more happy that I can finally get some damn sleep.
Amen.
Put this to sleep. I'm sorry to be long-winded, though, guys.
No, you're fine. And I'll tell you this, Flex, you're wearing a superhero tonight, in my opinion, because I've said for a long time that people need to understand and appreciate the value that you bring to this fan base, and that you have, due to kind of your upbringing, where you're from, the contacts that you've been have been involved in your life for a very, very long time. You're privy to certain information that a lot of people, one, aren't, and two, probably couldn't handle. And I tip my hat to you, my friend, because you handle that information with class. You protect those sources. And I know that that's not easy because when you hear that kind of information, like, I don't know about you, Matthew, but we just said, like, I'm shaking. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
I don't even know if I can talk. Like, it's not even like, it's not nerves. It's just like I'm tweaking out over here. I feel like I'm gonna
shot of
go. I might have to
adrenaline.
go run, and there might be other people outside running right now. And hopefully, I don't get mugged. I don't think I'll get mugged. I'm
No,
like
they'll be
6'4",
giving you high
but
fives.
they'll be giving me high fives. But I need to get this. Unlike Flex, where he's super tired. Like, I am totally the opposite right now because I am all for everything that is happening right now with the Phoenix Suns.
You deserve it, guys. I mean, this whole fan base deserves this, man. And you know, it's an amazing. I'm honestly, I'm telling you guys, I'm exhausted. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that this finally got done. And again, man, it just goes to show that, you know, I'm speaking more to the people. This got nothing to do with me, guys. I don't give a damn about the love, the hate. That's not my style, guys.
Yeah.
People already hit me up talking about victory laps, and I'm like, come on, man. This is not about that. But this is about Planet Orange. This is about this fan base having this moment and rejoicing, and people like y'all that get on every night, win, lose, or draw. And do what y'all do on a nightly basis, the consistency. This is what this is about. This is about, you know, all of you guys and the fan base and everybody. So it's exciting to know that the Phoenix Suns are back on the map, and that a guy like Kevin Durant is willing to say, this is where I want to be, man. So now, you know, you talking about Devin Booker, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton. I mean,
Yeah.
And we're not done. And we're not done, guys.
We can't be done.
No,
we can't be done.
We're not done. I'll leave it at that. But I'm confident in saying I don't think we're done, and the buyout market is going to be interesting.
100%. You know,
Okay.
hey, John Wall,
Yeah.
man, you know, but you know
KD
what
and
else?
Russ back together.
I'll say this:
Told
Flex,
you.
stay on as long as you want. I know you got people to talk to.
I'm
everything,
good, guys.
you know, so stay as long as you want. Yeah, I mean, again, my first reaction is, you know, and this is where we can talk a little bit about the details of the trade, guys. You know, my first reaction is that's a lot of shit to give up, right? You're giving up all of your wings, pretty much, minus Torrey Craig. Jay Crowder doesn't count. Cam Johnson, who we just got back onto the team after an injury. And then, of course, there's Mikal Bridges, who literally just got a new drop the other day.
All eyes on the warden.
I had to play that because that might be the last time we get to see that drop, man. I mean, he's on.
Yeah.
I'd say he's on his way to Brooklyn. They might have just left him there overnight. You know, him and Cam, they're like, hey, just listen, the plane's taking off for Atlanta, but can you guys go? I think they have your bags, and they're still in the airport. You know, they're still at JFK looking for their baggage, and all of a sudden they're getting their tweets on the phone. But I'll ask you this, Matthew. You know, given the fact of everything that the Suns just gave up, okay, 4 first-round picks all the way till 2029. We're not talking about owning our own first-round pick until 2030. A pick swap in 2028, and then Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, Jay Crowder. Did the Suns give up too much to get Kevin Durant and TJ Warren?
No, not at all. And like Flex said, they're not done. They're going to get a couple more pizzas probably back in return. I'm just thinking, not from this trade, but from elsewhere. No, from Kevin Durant, you do this over million out of a million times. You do this. And I think Charles Barkley said it best at the beginning of the season. He's like, wait, you're giving up who? As long as you're not giving up Devin Booker, you give up those guys. I don't care who it is. We still got Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. I love Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson. I'm so glad they're still together and they can go with Jay Crowder because they all love him very much. I mean, Mikal tweeted about that, how much he loves Jay Crowder. And you know what? They're all together. They can survive over there in Brooklyn, but I'm all about getting KD here. This is the only way we have a real shot at a championship. Tonight, if you're watching Kyrie and you're wondering like how it's going to look when Luka comes back, Kyrie looks good with that team. Luka comes back, you're going to have those 2 versus 2 on this team. You have to have KD and Booker to match up against Luka and Kyrie if that works out. If we didn't have that, who knows how the playoffs would have gone. But right now, man, we have the best chance at a title out of any team right now in the NBA.
It'd be interesting to see what the Phoenix Suns title odds have swung to. Obviously, there's been a lot of trades that are going on, and Matthew and I are planning on going live tomorrow at 12:30 Arizona time and talk through the trade deadline as it occurs. And we're still going to have that show for you, Jamsters. But one of the things we were obviously going to talk about if there were no trades by the Phoenix Suns was, the Lakers and D'Angelo Russell and moving Russell Westbrook. And you look at some of those trades and they didn't really swing the odds. Even Kyrie to the Dallas Mavericks made them an 18-1 favorite, or from an 18-1 favorite to win the title to a 14-1 favorite. It's not really a massive change relative to odds. It will be interesting to see how this Phoenix Suns team relative to odds looks after the acquisition of Kevin Durant. Now that being said, you have to understand a couple things that are in play here that are going on. We're trading for Kevin Durant. Yes, Kevin Durant is also currently out with a knee injury. He's got the MCI sprain, MLC. What is it?
MCL, something like that.
Sprain.
MCL.
And he's going to be reassessed in a couple weeks. So, I mean, we, at a very volatile time in this season, the Phoenix Suns are saying we're going to bring in Kevin Durant here. But here's the advantage of this. And this is one thing you have to think of. This is a potential win now. This is also a potential win next year kind of thing, because you have under contract for the next 4 years, Kevin Durant, 5 years, Kevin Durant, DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker. And then there's the whole Chris Paul angle of this, who, obviously will be dealt with in the offseason. But, I'll answer the question the same way you did, Matthew. I don't think that you gave up too much in this. I really don't. Getting a Kevin Durant, a generational talent.
Top 15 of all time.
Yeah, a top 15 player of all time. And you take a look at, how old is he right now? 35, 36?
35.
34.
34.
KD's 34, about to be 35, but he's 34 right now.
Yeah, September is when his birthday is. So yeah, he's 34. He's not 35 until September. That's the beginning of next season.
Yeah.
So a player like him, a shooter like him, has the ability to provide you some longevity. That's a quality contract there. You're not getting Chris Paul, a point guard who has to run an offense at 36 years old, or 35 years old like the Phoenix Suns did. So I think that, and this is buyer's remorse. A lot of people are going to have these feelings. We love Cameron Johnson. We love Mikal Bridges. But Flex, tell us why this is the right move, right?
This is the right move, guys. And I'm going to make this pretty clear, man. Forget Jay Crowder. We weren't even playing with Jay Crowder, okay? At the end of the day, your dream when you draft Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson is that one day they'll be good enough to trade for Kevin Durant, okay? That's what it comes down to. So, now you're sitting here with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton for foreseeably the next 4 or 5 years, okay? You just have to do it, guys. Not to mention the fact that you were going to have to pay Cam Johnson next year, and you don't have to worry about doing that. Okay. So you're talking about not having to get into a contract dispute with Cam Johnson. You're talking about to get something great in the NBA, you have to give something, guys. And at the end of the day, Mikal Bridges turned the corner. And this is, you know what's interesting, guys? I'm sorry to sound long-winded, but I'm gonna chop it up with you guys. And then unfortunately I'm gonna have to jump off and get on.
You gotta do what you gotta do, my friend.
Anytime's good.
But here's my thought process real quick. Mikal Bridges. I know that the fan base is going to be upset and they love Mikal Bridges, and so do I, man. But at the end of the day, if you pass up on Kevin Durant and you stick with Mikal Bridges and it doesn't work out, you're gonna die with regret. you really are, in the basketball sense. You're gonna sit down and say, what if? And I think we're done with the what ifs. And then the last point I'll say is this is why, I don't know if you guys have been following some of my tweets, but I've been saying for a while, blessings in disguise. And I'm going to promise you something. This is just how the world works, and this is how life works in general. But, Devin Booker getting hurt in December, if that doesn't happen, we probably don't get Kevin Durant, guys.
Because Mikal Bridges had an opportunity to showcase his abilities to the rest of the NBA, and he
Cameron Johnson came back.
That's right. And so the stars aligned, and Mikal Bridges was able to show that he can take a leadership role and evolve into a player that I think the Nets are very excited about. And so, now you got, again, I do not think they gave up this. I'm looking at the deal and I'm saying you gave up 4 first-round picks, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. And at the end of the day, if I'd have told y'all that this summer, I think y'all would have said yes. I mean, at the end of the day, I think people will be disingenuous if I told you this summer, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and 4 first-round picks, and you got Kevin Durant. Most people would have took that. Now, again, because these guys are playing a little better, it hurts a little more. But man, we got freaking Kevin Durant, guys. You got Kevin Durant, guys. So I mean,
say it. Can you say it like 10 more times?
Say it again.
Keep saying it over and over.
I just laid down to go to bed. I still think I'm dreaming.
We got Kevin fucking Durant. And that's what it comes down to, man. You got Kevin Durant in the Valley of the Sun with Devin Armani Booker. Let me before I go, let me say it the right way. We got Kevin Wayne Durant.
Oh, is that the middle name?
Playing with Devin Armani Booker. And yeah, I think that sounds sweet to me, man. So I told y'all this team would look different on October 14th versus Sacramento. Again, we're not playing the whole, I don't do the victory laps thing, man. I'm a big Nipsey Hussle fan, and that's one of my favorite albums ever, the Victory Lap. So I'll probably be bumping that tomorrow. But hey,
Windows down,
brother. But yeah, I'm happy this is done, man. I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy for everybody, man.
And again, we appreciate you coming on. I know it's a busy night, and it's just it's good seeing you again, Flex. And it's been so long. What, like 3 days since we had you on the pod?
Yeah. And you always, every time you leave, you say "love you guys." We never say "love you back," but we love you, Flex.
Yeah, I love you guys, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm a jump off because I'm gonna have a world tour now.
Do what you do.
If y'all need me tomorrow, man, don't hesitate, man. Real talk. Love you guys. Great show.
All right.
Love you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Later, brother.
Take care. Yeah, just thank you again, Flex from Jersey, for joining the podcast. It's something that has been a long time coming. He's been providing us insider information. And again, you have to understand what that business is. It's hearing information, putting out kind of strategically what you can. But then there's a lot of different levers at work. Getting Kevin Durant to Phoenix isn't just like a 2K transaction. And even if it is, and we've done that 2K transaction, it gets denied a lot of times, right, Matthew? They're like, no, we're still not doing that. Again.
I know.
It'd be very interesting to have somebody who's maybe live in the chat. And again, if you're joining us live on this 11:41 at Arizona time, we appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button while you're here. Would somebody go on to 2K and like try this trade and see if they actually allow it? They're probably like, no, it just can't happen.
Can't happen. And the thing is, like, a lot of people are saying it may be too much. We do miss Mikal and Cam.
We're going to miss Mikal and Cam.
We're going to definitely.
And we're going to root for them their entire careers.
Yeah, but you have to remember too. We talked about last podcast how Mikal was going to be our number 2 ball handler entering the play. If we didn't make a change, he would be the number 2 ball handler. Chris Paul wasn't the guy. He needs someone else. So that's trouble right there. As much as we love Mikal and how his game evolved, him being here in Phoenix was amazing. Him and Cameron Johnson, it's been phenomenal. It's fun, but it was fun. And then now it's like it's about winning. It was fun with the 64 wins and all of that. It didn't work out. If you don't win, you have to make a change. Jay Crowder didn't work out. We had to make a change. We want Cameron Johnson to play the 4. Didn't like that. Now it's like, you have an opportunity at Kevin Durant. All right. Well, Kyrie's gone, and KD doesn't want to be in Brooklyn. So you knew the Suns were going to try their best, and all these trades are happening before this happened. And everyone's like, Vanderbilt, well, the Suns are going to fuck up and stuff. They're not going to grab these other guys.
LA.
He does, yeah. And all these trades are happening. But honestly, if the Suns were to come out with KD or nothing again, I'd be like, that's fine. If we get any of these other guys that help this team with depth, wasn't going to work. We needed Kevin Durant to have a chance. And people are going to talk about the injury. Maybe. That's fine. Cameron Johnson was hurt a lot. Mikal never gets hurt, but I don't ever care about the injury. Go back to the Chris Paul thing. Everyone worried about his injuries. That worked out good. Everyone loved Kelly Oubre and Ricky Rubio. The team was awesome and fun in the bubble, but you want to get better, you have to go get Chris Paul. This is the same exact thing, but Kevin Durant's from another planet. This is I wish we could get tickets to his first game because I would just get chills. I might cry a little bit watching the first game. I might cry a little bit. And we still got DeAndre Ayton. And I know who loves DeAndre Ayton, those Aussie fans. The Suns podcast.
Yeah, you bet your ass that Gavin from the Aussie Suns Fans Podcast, who's joining us live from down under. How is the entire country of Australia absorbing this information, Gavin? What's going on down there?
Yeah, it's Australia's gone nuts. They've clearly, everyone's seen the news. It's 5:44 p.m. down here, so
okay. Oh, perfect.
Everyone's
Happy
up and
hour.
about. Yeah, everyone's up and about, excited, and as the Suns Jam session would say, everyone's cracking them if they've got them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Crack them
Yes.
if you got them. Just to give, if you're joining us late, or you are, I don't know, in Malaysia or something where Boyd probably is, the Suns are sending Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap for Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. That's the transaction right there. TJ Warren is once again a Sun. He's not going to be able to wear he was number 12 with us, right?
12,
Ish Wainwright's going to have
yeah.
to give it up, man. Like,
Yeah, or else, I don't know how the numbers are gonna work out, but you know what? I don't even care if they wear anything on the court. I just want fucking Kevin Durant, dude, playing for the Suns. So,
and let's be honest. When it comes to Suns fans on Twitter, there's nothing more exciting than an ex-Sun coming back to the Suns.
it's a rare thing, kind of, unless it's like Alfred
It's not
Payton.
even about KD.
That's the big one, right? It's like, hey, TJ Warren's coming back, but that's some of the things that we're seeing in the chat. Again, if you're joining us live, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. But we have decimated the key parts of our wing depth here, and with that wing depth, you're going to get obviously Kevin Durant, who's a wing, and you're also going to get TJ Warren, who, good, bad, or indifferent, is he's a wing, and he'll be back on the team. So.
yeah, and it's not over with.
Maybe we can also go back and get Kelly Oubre Jr.
Maybe.
I know Suns fans,
I really think Russell Westbrook's I know a lot of it's half and half, but I really think that's a name because we have players on this team that can keep him in check. LeBron can't keep anybody in check. We have players on this team that can make sure he does what he wants to do, what he can do on the court, and keep him in check.
And I think
that's going to happen.
I think the exciting thing is, and I heard Flex mention it before, and my initial thought and straight up thought was the buyout market is now going to be very, very interesting for us.
100%. And that's what Flex said earlier. We welcome to the podcast Boyd, who's hanging out in a garage somewhere. Boyd, how you feeling, man?
Oh, dude.
Man, I am I'm in all these chats, Australian basketball chats, and they're like, oh, fucking hell, Boyd, what's going? I said, have you guys ever seen a fat retired football player do a backflip? Because I was always.
Are you actually upside down right now or no?
I was always pro, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, as you all know, but man, like KD, it's flowing over me like a river. It's absolutely, I'm beside myself, guys. And quick question, Philadelphia, how close is that to Brooklyn over there?
It's like 90 minutes driving time.
Wow. So it's a happy story. Mikal Bridges gets to get closer to home. I mean, he's going to
look
dominate.
at you looking at the silver lining.
Yeah. Man,
you're an idiot.
He's going to dominate the East. He's got.
How does the important question is, how does your wife feel about getting pregnant again tonight?
You gonna knock her up again?
Who's gonna get pregnant?
Boyd has like 37.
37 kids.
But look, guys, Mikal, Jay, Cam made me feel a little bit warmer inside, knowing that they're gonna stick together. Mikal being closer
There's
to
one
home.
of the kids. Kids are screaming. They're so happy in the background. But to all those points, it's a win-win, and that's why this transaction occurred. And that's the challenge that the Phoenix Suns had, and we talked, I think all of us on our Perspective podcast. For those of you who don't know, both Boyd and Gavin are part of the Aussie Suns Fans Podcast. You can check them out on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Great Phoenix Suns content every Saturday night in America. They're going live Sunday their time. It's always a fun time, especially if you're hanging out in the chat.
Yeah.
And I think that we were all experimenting with that information that Flex from Jersey provided us over this past summer relative to Kevin Durant potentially becoming a Phoenix Sun. And what would that transaction look like? And how is that a win for both franchises? Because the first thing that happens is everybody starts saying, okay, it's going to be Dario, Landry Shamet, and 2 first-round picks. It's like, that's not the way these things work. You can see that the Brooklyn Nets are currently in a a complete rehaul. This is the team that had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant on them 2 seasons ago. And now they have completely, Joe Tsai's taken that team and just completely flipped it. And you look at what they've done in the past few days is they've got Dorian Finney-Smith, they got Spencer Dinwiddie, now they have Mikal Bridges, they got Cam Johnson, they got Jay Crowder, they've got more picks than God right now, thanks to the Phoenix Suns. And so, Gavin, I'll ask you that. How do you feel about the Phoenix Suns giving up 4 first-round picks? We don't own a first-round pick. So we do have our first-round pick in 2024
just
and
every
26.
second year,
Yeah, every second year, and then there's a pick swap in 2028. Do you feel like that is a good deal for the Phoenix Suns, giving up those 4 first-rounders and a pick swap in 2028?
Look, it's I think, as any Suns fan will probably attest to, we've given up a big package to get Kevin Durant through the door. But it's Kevin Durant, right? Now, the fact of the matter is that right now we're sitting, equal 4? Did the Mavs end up beating the Clippers today?
They beat them, so we're half game behind.
Yeah.
We're half game behind the Clippers.
No, I think we're all level now.
Did we jump them?
Clippers, Mavs, Suns are all equal 4th in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've seen in the chat there's a lot of comment around isn't KD injured, blah blah blah. KD's timeline was just after the All-Star break, so he's inevitably coming back. Kevin Durant coming in makes us a championship contender now and next year, without question. Now, as Suns fans, what we want is a title.
Yes.
And it's here now. So we had to give up the picks. We had to give up Mikal, and we had to give up Cam. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people didn't want to give up Mikal and wanted to give up DA, and there might have been one person on this pod in particular who would have preferred to give up DA. But the fact of the matter is that's not what Brooklyn wanted. Brooklyn preferred that. When it comes to fit, Mikal, Cam Thomas out there, Nick Claxton, it fits for Brooklyn. So that works. And for us, we're in a window. We add Kevin Durant to Ayton, CP3, and Devin Booker. Yes, we have to fill the 3 spot, but maybe Torrey Craig can do it. Who really cares right now? We are back well and truly in that championship window just by bringing one of the greatest scorers of our era into this lineup.
Matthew, hell of a first day for Matt Ishbia, huh?
Yeah, and sorry, boy, did you have something, man? Because you were talking and you were on mute before.
Yeah, I was. I'm just trying to battle the fight.
We appreciate that.
Hey, don't we fuck up all of our draft picks anyway? Like,
yes,
it's just,
it's
just one less stress that we have to worry
except
about.
Cam Johnson.
Except them. Yeah, it's a couple.
Yeah,
2 out of the last 10 years. 3. I'll give it to DA. 3 out of the last 10 years. Good job. You have a 30% hit rate.
And just a quick one, back on you Suns jam, guys. What do you think about having fucking TJ Buckets Warren back?
So
we're very excited.
Once upon a time, you have to understand. Once upon a time, before DA, okay, because a lot of people, the podcasting world, we started our podcast in 2019, right, Matthew? So 2019, Fanning the Flames, I think, was 2018 or 17. But before your guys' podcast, which was 2020 or 2021, right? Or maybe last year. But you guys have had the Facebook group for quite some time. Before DA, if you will, Sun's social media went on for a long time. Matthew was the biggest TJ Warren fan in the planet. When him and I, he loved TJ Warren. Don't you have a signed picture of him that used to hang above your bed?
Yeah, I definitely do. He was. I called him the mini Kevin Durant. So now we have the mini and the regular one.
That was Matthew's nickname for him when he was a young guy because he was a shooter, right?
Yeah,
he wasn't as long, but he was a shooter.
This year too, when Kevin Durant was healthy, him, Kyrie, and KD looked really good together on the court. So I'm not saying he's going to be a guy that's going to start or anything like that, but he can come in and play with the bench or the starters. So I know it's not a big thing. It's like, it's TJ. He might get hurt. He's, past his time, but who knows, man? And like Flex says, there's going to be other guys that join this team. There's going to be other options out there for the Suns. But right now, I think that's a nice little side piece to have with KD coming here.
I completely agree. It's kind of like
I'm not sure KD's a side piece though.
No.
I see what you did there, buddy. But again, you see what the Mavericks did, and they acquired Kyrie Irving, but they also got Markieff Morris. Now, we all know what our thoughts are about Markieff Morris, but that's one thing that when you interacted with any of the Dallas Mavericks fans, and they were very happy with that. I'm happy with bringing TJ Warren here because it does do a couple things. One, it's an addition to the roster, and two, it's also a tradable asset. Woj just recently tweeted that the Nets are looking to move on from Jay Crowder already. That guy, they're probably going to utilize him in a trade. They might try to attack some of those Toronto assets because they just reloaded with a shit ton of assets. They can go get the OG Anunobis, all those things that we've been talking about potentially getting. The Nets are locked and loaded. They have a lot of bullets in the chamber to do those kind of things. TJ Warren could be that for the Phoenix Suns. But to everybody's point, what Flex from Jersey said when he was on the podcast a little bit ago is the Suns now become a really interesting option in the buyout market. Obviously, Russell. Go ahead, Gavin.
Buyout players right now are going to be very, very excited about joining the Phoenix Suns.
Yes, because they know that you're coming to a place where you have Kevin Durant, you got DeAndre Ayton, that guy Devin Booker, Chris Paul. So a lot of the heavy lifting is already in place. John Wall, it was reported earlier that John Wall is getting ready to most likely become a buyout candidate in Los Angeles. Russell Westbrook is probably going to end up being a buyout candidate. Matthew already said he'd like to have Russell Westbrook. I see Boyd shaking your head. Tell me why no to Westbrook as a bench player, because he has been shining in that role, has he not?
Yeah, numbers wise, but isn't he a player that's widely renowned for not playing off of the ball? He just stands there until he gets it, then he's a black fucking hole. And then
if he comes in to back up CP3, he's playing the point. He's going to have the ball in his hand like Campaign does.
He collapses the whole 0.5 Monty system as soon as he puts a fucking toe on the court.
Does he though? Because if you're looking at our bench right now, the guys that do come off the bench when we're struggling to score because we don't have enough guys that take the ball to the rim. If Damian Lee's coming off the bench and he's an outside offensive threat, you've got at the moment still Saric, you've still got Landale who can pop a three, blah blah. If Russ is attacking the basket as a buyout option, you're
kicking it
and distributing, which he's very, very good at.
I don't.
And distributing to those guys, he's going to score.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the only reason I would want him on here, but he would have to, come in here and not play too much. I feel like he would be a backup to CP3, but I feel like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, if that. So he has to realize when he comes in here, he would be that guy. That's the thing he has to get over. So I don't know about his relationship with LeBron and Anthony Davis after that last game. They had the whole shouting match in the locker room with the head coach. So that was happening. It was probably leaked because they wanted to get out there to kind of kick him off the team.
Get him gone.
So I don't know which side is the right side in that situation. But Russell might just go to the Chicago Bulls or something. But the Suns giving up that many picks, I talk about this all the time. The Suns are a destination now where free agents and trades are going to happen for the next 4 or 5 years with Devin Booker being here, where every year you're going to grab guys to be the best team possible to win a championship. Drafts don't matter. Those players that are going to be drafted in the next 4 years, they're going to want to come to Phoenix in 5 years or 6 years. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to want to come here. We don't have to draft them. It'd be nice, but that's just the reality of the situation now with the Phoenix Suns, is that we're just going to have these guys that know how to play ball, and they're, championship mentality, and KD winning it this way in Phoenix with Chris Paul and Devin Booker is a way to kind of, I'm just saying, because he got so much flack with the Warriors, this is going to be huge for his career if he were to win a chip here in Phoenix.
Oh, it means so much.
Oh, more than what LeBron will ever do.
It's the first time ever that KD's been traded, right?
Yeah, every other time it's been a free agent transaction.
Because it's been free agents. Yeah.
What are you saying, Boyd?
Please reflect for 1 second that Hall of Famer Chris Paul wanted to play with Devin. And we've got and ever since this man has come into our club, we've now got Kevin Durant, who has persisted not only in the off season, but right through to the deadline to force his way to play with Devin fucking Barney Booker. How fucking cool is this, man? We're a destination not only because of the have over there owner, but also within the playing group as well. So that's man.
I love. I absolutely love. One thing. I got two things here. So one, I love that Matt Ishbia's first day. He's made a bigger splash than Sarver did pretty much his entire time here. Suck that, Sarver. But the other thing, to Matthew's point, the draft picks aren't necessarily needed for this team because of the fact that the Suns are destination. The only challenge with not having draft picks moving forward is the fact that those are things that sweeten the pot. We can get Kevin Durant because we had complete control over our draft picks for the next 7 years. Now, that being said, we still have complete control over all of our second-round draft picks, and we have the two that are unprotected that are still ours, right? I don't know what the rules are relative to trading those. I don't know if I think you can still trade those. You can't do them to the same team, right, Gavin? I see you thinking.
You can. I think you can trade your second one after the first one conveys.
I think that's correct.
Something
I think
like
correct.
that. Yeah.
So, we can't make any trades for the remainder of this duration of a trade deadline that includes the 2024 draft pick, because the 2023 draft pick has to commence. That's what kind of held us up with the OKC draft pick with Chris Paul, because we had given them to that. So, but again, it's an amazing day in Phoenix, or night. It's an amazing day for you guys out there. It's Thursday. It's an amazing night here in Phoenix, because these nights, they just don't happen for the Phoenix Suns. We're not the ones who are sitting around getting Woj bombed at 11 p.m. at night. We're typically watching the Lakers, for example. And I was pretty frustrated earlier with the fact
there was Twitter meltdown, wasn't there, when the Lakers.
But here's what was interesting about that. So the Lakers made the transaction, and I don't have the details of the trade ahead of me, but essentially it was D'Lo was coming to them. They got rid of Russell Westbrook. Minnesota obviously is involved. Utah's involved. And somehow, some way, the league let the Lakers off the hook again. They end up with Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley, two very quality, productive players that will assist that team. And they moved off the Westbrook contract. So it's like a win-win-win for the fucking Lakers. And I posted something about that, and then instantly everybody starts commenting on how we need to fire James Jones. I'm like, guys, this has nothing to do with James Jones. This has zero to do with James Jones. And they're like, yeah, but James Jones didn't get it done. Suck it, motherfuckers. Look what James Jones did tonight.
And there's a reason that James Jones didn't get that shit done.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about something else.
He was going big game, fishing.
That's all he wanted. And the whole DeAndre Ayton thing just makes it even better. Knowing that DeAndre Ayton cannot be traded, it forced Brooklyn's hand to be like, you know what? You have to accept this trade. KD wants to come to Phoenix. This is what bothered me in the summer, where KD wanted to come here and we couldn't get him. And I know it's in Brooklyn's hands, but it's this is the first time where a star wanted out and he didn't get out. Kyrie, I know he doesn't have a contract, but he got out right away. KD, if we were to get Vanderbilt in that whole package with D'Lo, you know how depressing that would have been if we had a chance at KD and he goes somewhere else?
We don't get Durant, right?
No, we don't.
It's done.
No, there's no way. So I wanted KD or nothing. It's those guys, it would be nice. But you have to have the best guys on the court at the end of the season to win games. You have to have those, and we didn't have it last year for sure. Now we have the best player in the NBA as long as he's healthy.
God, I'm really pissed that we didn't give up Jay Crowder for Jakob Poeltl 3 months ago.
Poeltl would have been nice as a backup.
I'm just really disappointed that we didn't give up Crowder and our picks, our protected first round picks for Rui Hachimura.
I know, right?
Now he's not even. Yeah, have you seen him now lately? He had that first good game. Now it's just. Yeah, that's the way it is. It's just he balls out, and you play with LeBron, you get depressed. You go on antidepressants, and it's all over from there.
I love what Hans Sagan says in the chat, $9.99 in the super chat. Again, thank you for everybody who's watching this podcast along live. And if you're listening to it tomorrow, kudos to you. You're waking up and having a good morning. But he said Hornacek, Perry, and Lang for KD. Obviously, going back and referencing the Charles Barkley trade, which was most likely the biggest transaction that has happened in the history of this franchise. Chris Paul was a great transaction. We didn't give up too much in that, though. Level. I mean, it was Ty Jerome. Who else did we give up in that?
Oubre and Rubio.
Oubre, Rubio. And,
Yeah,
Hi,
and
Jerome,
it's
and
the same thing. People were upset about that.
Yeah, this is Hornacek, Perry, and Lang for KD. Although I will give Mikal Bridges, he's probably the Hornacek in this, and Cameron Johnson is more than Curtis Perry.
Yeah, and you never know with that guy.
And
These guys, you don't know their future.
I don't think that any of us are happy that Mikal Bridges is leaving.
No one is.
Not at all.
But it's
No.
KD.
Hey,
Like,
yeah,
imagine
exactly.
trading. Imagine getting Kyle Kuzma here, and you had to give up Mikal Bridges. How would any of you be feeling right now?
The same thing. James Jones should have been sacked because we didn't
Yeah.
trade for Kyle Kuzma. But
Yeah.
if we traded for Kuzma, we don't have KD right now.
Yeah, it's just like Chris Paul. He's like, it was Kim Kardashian. You have to do it. You just have to.
You have to do it. You have to do it. What else do we want
Boyd-
to talk about?
Boyd-
Boyd, show us what's in the fridge.
I have to go to my under 11s training for my boy. I'm gonna. It's weird, but I'm gonna fucking really ride him tonight. I'm gonna make him do abs, and I don't know why. It's just a real sadistic way of me to get out some of my excitement. I don't know. I like it too much, but man, I'm gonna play this back as soon as I get home. So man, fuck, we got KD boys.
I
Yeah.
know.
KD.
Let's go.
Cheers.
All right, guys. Catch you, boys.
And
Yeah.
look,
Cheers.
yeah, look,
Hanging out with
and
us, Boyd.
I think the understated thing here right now is that Kevin Durant is, and well, in the last 15 years, is the best scorer in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our
Yeah,
fans,
for sure.
our fans jumped up and down about trying to have a secondary scorer, secondary ball handler,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. We now have that, right? Like this guy isn't a secondary scorer; he's a first-hand scorer. How's that going to impact Book?
I think. Yeah, go ahead, Matthew.
No, I think it's awesome. The big thing here with Booker is any superstar can play with him. The big question with like Luka is like, can anyone play with him? That's always a question. Booker can play with anybody. He's very unselfish.
Very transferable.
He can be a
offensive
1
set.
or a 2 on this team. He's gonna be always Mr. Sun, the best son of all time. But like KD, when he went to the Warriors, Steph Curry was the guy in Oakland. He was the guy,
It was
and
his
now.
city.
Yeah, and now it's Devin Booker's the guy in Phoenix, but KD's here to help us win a championship.
And
I
thank
think-
you to the Dallas Mavericks who deliberately today made it look like we can't find out whether or not Luka and Kyrie play together because they sat Luka.
Yeah, he's had a heel
He's still
injury.
hurt. Yeah, three games out. So
Yeah.
we'll
So
see.
the way I look at it is, what's the best blueprint we have for this? Who here watched the Olympics? And you had Devin Booker and you had Kevin Durant on the team. And Devin Booker was happy to defer to Kevin Durant. And I think that that's one thing that if you are a stats only person and you're going to analyze Devin Booker's performance through the lens of statistics, you're probably the same people who murder DeAndre Ayton for statistics alone and don't actually watch the games. One of the key things that's going to make Devin Booker successful is he doesn't have to carry this team like he had to at the front end of the season. Carrying this team at the front end of the season got him hurt. He had no offensive production around him. Mikal Bridges, the Mikal Bridges offensively that we've known for the past 10 games, wasn't playing at that level. Chris Paul was injured. DeAndre Ayton was either injured and except for about 2 weeks around Thanksgiving, wasn't really contributing offensively. So it was Devin Booker who was putting up 50, 60-point performances, doing anything he could to will this team to win.
And playing over 40 minutes a game.
And playing 40 minutes a game. He is thrilled to have Kevin Durant come here and take some of that offensive load off of him. And Kevin Durant is thrilled to come and assist him in that capacity.
Yeah.
Now, my
And
question
the positive there too is that we already know that Kevin Durant, as good as he is happy to defer to other guys as well because of his
he's
time
a
in
team
Golden
player.
State.
He's a basketball player. He's a basketball player. He wants to play basketball, and he knows what benefits him in the long run is getting his teammates involved. We've seen that when he won championships in Golden State. Now, I do see L. Lerner in the chat says, but John, we traded him when he finally stepped off offensively. Exactly. the Phoenix Suns traded Mikal Bridges so far through his career at his offensive peak, at his sell high moment. If he had been scoring 12 points a game with Devin Booker out, do you honestly think that this trade gets done? It might.
No way.
It might, but I think that his ability to show his two-way versatility is attractive to a team that's going, you know what? Okay, we're going to go young. We're going to bring a guy who we've seen over the last 10 games can score more than 20 points, can still play some defense. Let's go ahead and get him. So I think that it actually helped us, and that's one of those things. Every time Landry Shamet starts playing good, we're like, sweet, man, he's up in his trade value. That's like the running joke, right? It wasn't necessarily a conversation we were having relative to Mikal Bridges, but it was in the back of our minds, like, hey, he's playing really well right now. If Brooklyn wanted him, now's the time.
Yeah, and Mikal's averaging 21 a game. Sorry, guys, but Kevin Durant's coming in and averaging 28 to 30.
Yeah, and you just don't know. I mentioned it before. You just don't know Mikal's future. He can be an all-star, maybe if he plays at this level, but playoff-wise, you don't know if you can trust him yet. He seems like a guy right now in the regular season. You can trust him with the ball. Kevin Durant, like, I don't even need to say anything. But good question is Kevin Durant right now in Robert Sarver's old house playing at that gym with Booker and Chris Paul right now? Remember when Chris Paul was here? And like the same night, Chris Paul's already hooping it up with Booker. Those guys are on a phone call like Jay Crowder and Chris Paul like before, dude.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I wish the whole Jay thing didn't happen. I kind of wish Jay was on this team still.
Our biggest problem is what's going to happen in Atlanta tomorrow.
Oh, we're going to get boat raced.
Might not be worth watching.
Who cares? I'm not even going to watch it. I'm just going to see whatever KD's doing.
All we'll do is we'll have another podcast talking about KD, because we're going to have a podcast tomorrow or today now in about 12 hours, the Suns Jam session. We're going to be going live. We'll be live reacting from 12:30 to 1:30 as the trade deadline's occurring. So any other trades that are popping off, we're going to sit there and have conversations about that. Yeah. I got to work that within my work schedule. I got to find a closet somewhere that's got good Wi-Fi so people aren't like, hey, shouldn't you be working? I'm in like all Suns gear. I'm bringing like my mic and everything so you can hear me nice and pretty. I will ask this question. It's one question that's on everybody's mind, and it's the same question that was on everybody's mind when Chris Paul arrived. KD's a little injury prone. How worried are we about that?
I'm not.
Why not?
Because you can't. Cameron Johnson was injured. Mikal might get injured. You just can't worry about that stuff. It's the same thing with Chris Paul, man. You just can't worry about it.
And I think during the regular season, guys sit out extra games when they could potentially be playing anyway.
Like Booker tomorrow.
They'll sit those games out. Really, all we need is a fully healthy team come the playoffs. If they can play games. Look, Kevin Durant, if he's playing with a niggle, is still going to absolutely dominate whoever he plays against. Devin Booker, the same. Chris Paul, well, we've kind of started to see that there's maybe some issues there. But if all he has to do is bring the ball up and give it to KD or Devin Booker, we're going okay.
Yeah, and just really quick, remember KD was playing his ass off for the Brooklyn Nets. Like, no one else was playing on that team. The team kept falling apart. KD was the only one that was playing. He was playing like almost 45 minutes a game or something crazy. Steve Nash used the shit out of him, so he won't be playing that many minutes for us, unless it is, of course, in the playoffs. But right now, it's just about winning games, and he has a good unit around him. He has the best surrounding squad that he's ever had, I feel like. Besides that one team, the Warriors, where he won 2 in a row with, and maybe should have had 3 in a row.
And we've got 2 roster spots right now, right? And we've spoken about it 2-3 times already. The buyout market is going to give us some depth to cover those requirements. And the buyout market this year is going to be big. You're already looking at Russell Westbrook. I think, honestly, you're going to be looking at an Eric Gordon, where, let's be honest, Suns Twitter have been obsessed with Eric Gordon for years. Eric Gordon signed as a free agent and called himself basically he wanted to be in Phoenix, and he's a Phoenix guy. So there's going to be opportunities there for us to fill roster spots with the MLE, even the BAE, whatever it is, for those 2 roster spots, or we just upgrade one of the 2 that are there. The likelihood is that if we do, it's going to be Ish. Probably not Saban Lee, but
No, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It makes sense. Now, I will say this. It's a new week, and we have a new DraftKings ad that I have to read. I didn't make a video for this one, so I just want to let NBA fans know it's time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place a same-game parlay on any NBA game. If it doesn't hit, you get a bonus bet back. Bet on the Suns to lose tomorrow. Parlay that with the over on DeAndre Ayton rebounds. Just go ahead and do it. I said it. Make it happen. Download the app now and sign up with code TBPN. New customers can bet $5 on the NBA and get $200 in bonus bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code TBPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Glad I got that out of the way. So what do you think now the likelihood is that Steve Nash, somebody who was with Kevin Durant in Golden State, his head coach in Brooklyn, is now going to be a part of this organization moving forward, Matthew?
Oh, it's huge. I think it's something that might actually happen. It's something that I don't really care about too much. I mean, I'd love to have Steve Nash back, but you'll never see him around too much, right? I mean, if he's behind the scenes, it's cool. Right now, just Kevin Durant being on this team is going to bring in a lot of people, a lot of, just front office people around the NBA that can really help this organization like move forward in the right direction. I mean, it's already been great with 2 days. I mean, we're 1-0. DA's been playing great. The 2 best games back to back in his career. He must have known something's happening. Sarver's out. Ishbia did talk about getting anybody to help this team. I mean, anybody to help this organization. It's not limited to who can come here and help. Steve Nash would be big. I think him as a guy behind, the scenes is bigger than him being an actual coach, as we see.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Steve Nash back? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, dude. It's another instant win for Ishbia, right? Like he brings in Kevin Durant, he brings back Steve Nash. This guy's fucking crushing it, bro. Absolutely crushing it. And I will say, Adrian Wojnarowski recently tweeted out about 8 minutes ago, Toronto's talks on forward OG Anunoby are rolling into the final hours of the trade deadline. The landing of Kevin Durant with the Suns could escalate Anunoby's value among Western Conference teams pursuing an elite forward to defend Kevin Durant. So we could see some shakeup there. You could see,
who's left?
I think the Warriors. I think the Warriors have the ability to go and get them,
especially with Wiseman.
Yeah, they're shipping
Wiseman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day because we're playing the Detroit Pistons. Total sidebar conversation. We can spend 2 minutes on it. Who's better, James Wiseman or Jalen Durant from Detroit?
Durant. I'd take Durant.
Me too. I was watching him play, and they're both Memphis centers, and I was like, wow, this guy's really good.
Wiseman, it's a weird situation, man. Like I don't know, he's never on the court. They can't really trust him.
He was never on the court in college for his, in high school. Like he just
played 2 games, right? Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So
I think the other one's Denver.
This is
Denver?
correct. But it depends on what they can give up. I haven't really looked at Denver's where they stand in the market. I don't know where they are with their draft picks. I'm very not well versed on them. I just know like Bones Highland. Excuse me, beers.
Bones is their guy, right?
Yeah, Bones is the guy who they're trying to ship, and a lot of people are potentially interested in that. But as Adrian Wojnarowski's tweet stated, OG Anunoby's value just went up because teams need him. So in a buyer's market, if you're a seller, you can really utilize this trade. I mean, the Suns just gave up 5 fucking draft picks.
Yeah,
and 2 quality guards. It's going to hit us tomorrow, or if you're Gavin later tonight. That Mikal Bridges and Cameron Johnson are gone, guys. Like we love those guys,
which is sad. It is really,
sad.
Really sad.
It is sad, but I'm very. What softens the blow so much, and is the simple fact that we get a look at things like this. Devin Booker.
I was going to say, is it 2
Chris
letters?
Paul,
A and D,
and KD. And if KD comes and he rocks that 35, that will look so beautiful.
It's going to be the best looking jersey.
It is. It's going to be the best looking jersey. Didn't Dragon Bender wear number 35?
He did, and it looked great. Yeah. I got a couple of them.
Kevin Durant. If you take it's still one of my favorite tweets of the off season. The Bender thing, and they added Kevin, and rant at the end.
And I gotta say, about the OG thing. So if the Suns didn't get Kevin Durant and he went somewhere like Memphis, and the Suns had to settle for OG Anunoby just to help out, to guard Kevin Durant, how depressing would that be? OG's
It's
good.
reactionary.
OG's good. He is good. But
He's
I'm
good.
telling you right now, in the playoffs and important games, man, this offense is going to be better than any defense. I'm sorry. The way I know defense is great. It helps win championships, maybe the NFL, maybe. But right now, man, offense, a guy that can get to the line, that can do anything on the court, you can't guard him with anybody you bring on your team.
No,
Nobody can stop him. Nobody can stop
The only thing that
Booker.
can stop him is a 3-point line and a size 14 shoe.
That's it.
That's about it.
That's
folks.
about it.
Although I do have a query for both of you, right?
Fire away.
You guys, you're plugged in. You know what's going on. Are we done?
No,
we still
hell
have
no, we're not.
expirings.
Oh, no,
We've
there's
we've
more,
still got
yeah.
expirings
Yes.
everywhere.
Flex said there's more coming.
Yeah,
so.
Flex says there's more. There's expirings. There's the trade. There's the buyout market for sure. But I don't think we're done. To your point, Gavin, we have expiring. We have
trades.
roster spots. With trades between now and the trade deadline. There's the possibility that we're going to get rid of some of those, because you look at some of the transactions that happened today, and this is where a lot of Suns fans were kicking themselves, right? You see Josh Hart gets traded today from Portland. I love Josh Hart. I was beating the Josh Hart drum, and he got traded. Portland sent him to the Knicks because he's playing with Jalen Brunson. So now you have Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges all in the same vicinity, all those Villanova boys. And they gave up like nothing for him. So there are those trades to be had. Yeah, Cam Reddish and a pick.
I mean, I was a fan of Reddish. I would have
liked to have Reddish too. I think that he still needs some development. I know that he's not the kind of guy who's going to come here and develop, but going to Portland, it's a perfect place for him because New York's trying to win now. Portland is, they're deferring once again, and they'll win what they can, but they'll defer. So what's going to happen is we're going to trade Chris Paul for Dame Lillard straight up, and we're all going to lose our fucking minds.
So what do you think happens though with that?
Off the back of that, so we got Saric, Craig. Campaign's not expiring, is he? Saric, Craig.
No, Shamet.
The Shamet contract's not expiring, but it's active.
Yes,
because it's not guaranteed.
Yes.
We're looking at a 3. What's out there?
I'm not to look. Right now, my mind is just filled with KD and these other little trades that are going down. They don't matter as much. But the whole Chris Paul thing, that'd be nice. The whole Chris Paul thing with him actually be mentioned in a trade for Kyrie. I don't even know what that was. I know Flex did say, that was something that was happening. That's kind of weird now to look at this, if that was even a real thing, because I feel like James Jones might have just been all in on KD in the first place. So it's kind of weird to throw that out there where Chris Paul is involved in a trade for Kyrie Irving, right?
I think that was discussion, not an official offer.
But the crazy thing about that, we were talking about that. We were talking about that when I was on the PHNX podcast earlier this week, and we're having that conversation. It's like, okay, well, who released that information? Because who does that benefit? And we were talking about how it was almost like the Nets released that in an effort to just say, like, hey, Phoenix, like, we don't want to do business with you. We want to sour your assets, so you don't want to have a discussion with us for Kevin Durant because it's not going to happen, and essentially sour Kevin Durant on it. But obviously that didn't work. Yeah, maybe. Fabio, let's go get Kelly Oubre. Let's pick apart the Hornets.
No,
I'm
not. To be honest, I'd prefer to see us starting TJ Warren over Kelly Oubre.
Imagine TJ Warren starting on this team.
Well, he's not going to, right? I mean, we have
KD,
DeAndre, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and then who's the other dude?
Who's the 3?
It'll be Torrey Craig.
It'll be Torrey Craig for now.
That's Monty's dude, and we loved him in the starting lineup this year. He was fucking balling out.
But you could put TJ in there at the 3.
Yeah.
As long as you have KD and Booker, I don't care who else is playing. I don't.
Look, the fact of the matter is, and you only had to watch the Nets last week before TJ got injured again. TJ's still a bucket, right?
Oh yeah, he can still score. He's always been injured.
It's just a matter of staying.
No, he's really good. If you were watching him earlier this season, he played on the offense fantastic. It's always like when the bench is in, he's in. He can score from anywhere. He can seriously
Yeah.
score from anywhere on the court, but he will get you buckets in desperate need whenever your team is struggling. And you got the double teams coming. You have him just wide open from wherever the fuck he is, and he's not being touched. It's going to be one of those things where he's going to be like, it's kind of overlooked right now, of course, because of KD, but we're going to come back and be like, dude, unless he gets traded again or something, who knows? So I always feel like this always happens.
We've still got those contracts though. And, and
HBO's going to
we've still just got the assets for a 3 that can come in, play some defense, do whatever else is required. We don't need a scorer now, though, right?
Caruso?
We just need someone who can come in and defend.
I do like Caruso. I'm a big.
I know you like Caruso. Guy. He can play 3. He can play
but I think the Bulls. I think the Bulls want.
They want to
like
compete.
A first rounder.
Yeah, they want a first rounder. They want to compete.
Russell Westbrook though and KD come back together and they win a championship. That's fucking insane.
Russ can't play
Chris
the 3,
Paul,
dude.
I'm just saying, even if he doesn't even really play like 10 to 15 minutes, but they win one together after just divorcing and trying to go elsewhere to win one.
They win it in Phoenix. OKC cries. No good in the chat keeps saying Larry Nance. I love Larry Nance more than anything. There's no way that the Pelicans are sellers right now. I don't think that they're sellers. I honestly don't. I know that they had that long losing streak, but they're a team that they have too much versatility and they're in too good of a spot, and they don't need draft picks or anything.
I do have one, right?
Okay.
Where I think that we could potentially get something out of not only the expiring contracts, but the second rounders. Matisse Thybulle from the Sixers.
That's funny.
That's funny.
I put together a mock trade for Matisse Thybulle that I was going to talk about tomorrow if Jay Crowder was still on the team, because I think that was a team that I think could see that Jay Crowder was attractive to him. They're an upper tier team. And Matisse Thybulle, you just need him for his defense. Because we did lose some good defensive. Mikhail's gone.
Yeah, but remember, Mikhail, his defense. I know his offense stepped up in the last month, but his defense was just so fair. Guys were scoring like 40 points on him. Like it wasn't the same, and there was a lot on his shoulders, obviously. But that's why you can't hang on to a guy like that.
We switched up. We switched up way too easy on defense. With on a one-on-one, his defense was still as good as it's always been.
But offenses just took him out of it. Yeah, every time. He never fought through screens. The other thing, though, with Matisse Thybulle is what is attractive enough to give to the Philadelphia 76ers that they're like, yes. Like Landry Shamet back?
I don't know.
Well, I think the Sixers need some expirings right now. That if they want to re-sign Harden,
and Embiid,
I think he's up, and Embiid, and then maybe some seconds. Saric, they love Saric. He's a former Sixer.
That's true too.
We could trade a couple of players out there to match salaries, a couple of second round picks, and I think Thybulle could actually be. And they are shopping him, so there's opportunity there. I think with Thybulle.
Yeah, he might need to change his scenery too. But it hasn't been going too good for him over in Philadelphia. Change the scenery might be nice. I just wish that Jay was kind of still on this team. I know I said that earlier, but he would be good as a starting 3 with this team. That would have worked out, I think, great. I know he kind of fell off a little bit here or there last year, and he's not a guy, obviously, you want to trust with the ball in late game situations, but he would just be the perfect little fill right there in the third. If he would have just fucking just held in, been like, all right.
You know what? Glad he did, because we got Kevin
and he
Durant.
Didn't. He has.
Let him
he's
go, man.
Boston, wherever he just got traded.
I love Sadiq Bey.
I love Sadiq Bey.
Let's be honest with where Detroit are. They're not trading Sadiq Bey for contract expiries and
they don't need it. They don't need it. They're looking to build. They want the draft picks. They don't want the expiring. So
correct. They want first rounders when it comes to Sadiq.
Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys.
Yeah, I think so. It's getting late, huh?
Yeah, I got to stay up for 3 more hours because I won't be able to sleep and go to work.
It's only 6:30 p.m.
Settle down, happy hour. Gavin, we really appreciate you hopping on. We might see you again a little bit later. I don't know if you're going to have the ability to pop on for the trade deadline thing, but I'll send a link in our little chat. So if you want,
as I said, man, I've already scheduled in a 24 hours awake, so I'll be there.
You're going to be loopy. It's going to be fantastic. So before we get out of here, Gavin, tell everyone where they can follow you and your final thoughts on Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns.
At Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter. Follow us. like us, check us out on YouTube. We have a bit of fun, Aussie style, on whatever we do with the pods, and use the C word relentlessly because we're allowed to. Outside of that, guys, if you're listening back, this is an amazing day for the Suns, right? I mean, Chris Paul was a great trade. We made the NBA Finals with him. But Kevin Durant's generational. And I still think we've got 2 to 3 years of phenomenal basketball from someone who is generational at the Suns. And that's damn exciting.
Matthew, tell everyone where they can follow you and your final thoughts.
At KD Trey 5. Get all my shit there. Man, my final thoughts are I've never felt this ever. Like, you always want to know what it feels like to win a championship, and this isn't it. But the way I felt getting up out of bed, like I was seriously about I was close to just closing up shop. The way I felt when I saw just Kevin Durant and the Suns, I didn't even see who was involved.
I didn't saw Kevin Durant's Suns and a phone call from Matthew.
I saw that from Woj, and I got up right away. I don't remember getting up. I floated over here. It took me a while. I was like, where are my fucking shorts at? I was going to come on here in just underwear. I couldn't find clothes. I was that excited. That is what this is doing to, I feel like, a lot of people out there. But we have to realize, like, this is the biggest thing to ever happen, I feel like, to Arizona sports, right? Other than maybe the Diamondbacks winning a championship, Charles Barkley.
But the Suns, Charles Barkley.
Yeah, but for sure,
this is that moment was huge.
Yeah, but we're not going up against Jordan anywhere. So
yeah, no shit.
This is
we're going against
better.
Giannis. I'll say this:
there's no Jordan in the East now.
Yeah, it's Giannis.
Maybe Giannis.
Yeah. I will say this: I'm not a shaky anymore. So thank you, Jamsters, for all of you who have joined us to watch this show, to listen to it. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. We'll read it right here on the pod. If you're watching, hit the thumbs up button. If you're listening, just enjoy, man. Enjoy the fact that Kevin Durant is a member of the Phoenix Suns. Does it suck that Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson are no longer part of this organization? Absolutely. These are players we will continue to root for the remainder of their career for what they've meant to this organization, not as just players, but as guys who ended up in Brooklyn so we can get Kevin Durant. So a new era has begun in Phoenix. But you know what? It's worth it. It's going to be a fun ride, man. Kevin Durant, he's part of the Phoenix Suns. So that's all I got. Matthew, take us home.
Go home and love your Kevin Durant chills.
And Ja, I hope you're still good in the West.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, Ja, you still good in the West? Let's get out of here.
The Ward.
Lights, Cameron, action.
Well, that didn't work.
All eyes on the Ward.